So welcome to my talk. I'm going to whiz through the talk because I've got a few minutes left. This is a very important talk because leadership is not just about being a lead in engineering, whether you're a developer or a tester or an analyst. It's about how do you bring thought leadership? How do you think outside of the box? How can you and your suppliers work together? It's not just about as a manager or a leader or a head of trying to share knowledge and how to shape up your team, but it's also about the relationship you have with your suppliers. And just because they're suppliers doesn't mean that they're not part of your team. They're actually part of your team day in, day out. So why not work with each other and get the thought leadership and learn more? So slight little introduction about myself. So I've been in the testing world for over 12 years now. I've studied computer science. I'm a blogger. I'm an international speaker and a keynote speaker. I've hosted testing events and I work at EasyJet as a quality engineering manager. So questions to think about. Have you ever thought beyond your current day-to-day tasks? So I know our day-to-day tasks take up a lot of time, sometimes even after work, but have we had a chance to think about, how about I do this differently? Sometimes this can happen at walks, or sometimes this can happen at lunch, anything. But it's just, these are the moments where thought leadership can help. If you work with suppliers, how many of those think outside of the box? So I know majority are there with contracts and they focus on what they need to deliver, but there are some who have this hidden charm that we don't realize, but they come up to you and they suggest things like, I like your idea and I want to go forward with this. And I'm thinking, shall I enhance it with my knowledge? And that's so beautiful. And that's what made me think about, I've not heard many talks around thought leadership, so why not try this one? And have you heard conversations that are different to the constant delivery talks? Every day we hear the same talks, the stand-ups, the planning sessions, refinement sessions, or waterfall meetings. And do we ever think about in these sessions, or does anyone spark any sort of idea? Not a lot of the times, but maybe we could ask people to start thinking differently and offering different ideologies or skill set and knowledge that we could use and move forward. So the meaning of thought leadership, thanks to ChatGPT, is the practice of an individual or organization providing unique, valuable insights and expertise in a specific field to influence, inspire, and lead others in the industry or community. Think about all the TikTokers and Instagrammers and YouTubers. They are actually inspiring people, aren't they? They do share things that we like, we follow, we try. So it's the same way we as engineers can try and influence and inspire and really share our knowledge. And not just for our teams, this could be something cross collaborative as well with other teams. So a thought leader is a business person. We don't have to be a business person. We can be engineers as well. And who knows what they're doing, is respected for their expertise and offers thoughtful and valuable advice. You have your famous thought leaders, Bill Gates, Tim Ferriss, Elon Musk, whoever you follow, and they do share nuggets of information. That's basically being thought leaders. I'm not saying you have to follow specific people. Sometimes it's just natural for people to come up with so many ideas and influence people, and they're natural influences as well. So people with original ideas or innovative ideas with fresh perspective on technical challenges and industry trends can potentially be thought leaders, have a clear voice, articulate complex concepts in ways that resonate and inspire. So you can create analogies, you can make them fun and interactive. It doesn't have to be the whole boring meeting where you're just talking. It can be more images, pictures, just to change people's mindsets, really, and create a community impact, influencing practices beyond your immediate team or organization. So someone like you are all in the audience or the speakers today, they must have influenced you with something or have basically taught you something that you can take back to your team. So they have sort of put something into your mindsets, and that is called thought leadership as well. So because I like some statistics, I wanted to mention these. So 50% of the C-suite executives say that high quality thought leadership has more impact on their purchase of decision making during economic downturns than when times are good. That's a big percentage. Value-wise, 61% of decision makers say that an organization's thought leadership can be moderately or a lot more effective at demonstrating the potential value of its products and services. 40% say, only 4 in 10 decision makers say there is more thought leadership content than they can manage, or that the market is oversaturated with thought leadership content. 48% of the decision makers want to see thought leadership include provocative ideas that challenge people's assumptions. So these percentages are really different. They are very catered to specific sort of how shall I put it, keywords like impact, value, opportunity, challenging. But that's what we're trying to do as engineers as well. We're trying to make an impact, we're adding value, we see it as an opportunity, not as a problem, and we make it challenging so that it's more fun to sort of go and tackle. So the evolution of engineering. So yesterday, we wrote brilliant code, ship features fast, keep systems running. That was the main goal. But today, we want to showcase technical excellence, cultural influence, and industry leadership. I run QA forums at EasyJet, and what we do there is we share different skill sets and knowledge from different teams, or just suppliers coming up with what they're doing, an interesting bug they found, and we do half-an-hour sessions. We are sharing from all across EasyJet for all the engineers that attend about technical excellence, what we do, what projects we do. We call people from outside as well to come and give talks. So that's basically cultural influence and industry leadership. Why engineers make natural thought leaders? Well, deep technical expertise is one of our best things. We understand the nuances that others might miss. We know the technical bits deep inside a system, or we try as testers break those systems and try and see how to sort of be sure when they're shipped and we don't find big issues. I'm really sorry about the fireworks because of Diwali. It's still going on. I hope they're not too loud. We are also natural problem solvers. Our mindset is to sort of use our analytical skill set, validate a lot of data, verify unique insights, understand what the numbers or the data is trying to tell, a story that we are trying to sort of unravel here. We also understand real world experiences because we are testing day in, day out, we're developing day in, day out, and we've lived the challenges when we are sort of discussing. We discuss about risks, we manage risks earlier, we create risk registers. So it's really important to see that we are naturally thought leaders when we are thinking ahead of time and we are shifting to the left as well. The ripple effect of engineering thought leadership. So, of course, just like any influencer, you will get personal growth, but personal growth within your team, people know you're going to be a subject matter expert for certain things, or other team members or other areas, complete different areas to your area will be like, oh, Laveena, yes, she's done something around accessibility. Let's maybe ask her what her thoughts are on our application and how could we do things better. People start recognizing you. You also have a team influence, you have improved practices and culture within your organization, and industry impact as well. You're shaping standards and best practices across your field. So whether that's you making ways of working, definition of dones for your team and big projects, and sharing that as case studies as a speaker outside or creating workshops. So learning from failure, the most powerful thought leadership often comes from honest reflection on what didn't work. So if failures happen, that's still good because we are learning from it. So share your mistakes and learn from it. And the engineering community is so heartwarming that anyone's here to help each other out. So building your voice. Start small. Maybe start from internal blog posts or team retrospectives or lunch and learns, for example. Share consistently, so have regular contributions, build credibility and an audience. Find your niche, whether that's DevOps, security, performance, or emerging technologies like AI. Engage authentically, join conversations, respond to feedback, and build relationships. Do not take any feedback in a negative way. It's always constructive. Again, it might sound as a mistake, but you learn from it and you become thought leaders. So platforms for engineering thought leadership. Maybe put yourself forward for technical writing. It might not be your favorite thing, but it just helps put your thoughts out there. and people like reading other people's thoughts. Speaking, you can present at conferences, meetup talks, any podcast, and people like listening to that as well. You would be very, very surprised. And open source, of course, you can share your solutions on GitHub. Any documentation you have, you can make it live, or any community leadership conference pages or sort of wiki pages where you can post your thoughts and see how the community supports you or puts their different thoughts that could probably help you as well. So, what could good look like? So, focus on an area of expertise, as I suggested, answer the unanswered questions, appear on the right channels, provide depth of ideas, and continue to listen and learn. The main thing that I would suggest to you today is listen to others. Most people do not listen with the intent to understand. They listen with the intent to reply. I'm one of those people. I cannot sit listening. I have more replies ready in my head than to listen with my ears. So sometimes when we are at work, I just switch my mouth off and I try and listen and just make notes. And that helps a lot. And being a good listener is absolutely critical to being a good leader. You have to listen to the people who are on the front line. Introvert or extrovert, it does not matter. I've noticed this a lot in a lot of teams that I've worked with. There are some people who are introvert, but they come up with brilliant and bright ideas. And there are some people who are extrovert, and they still come up with brilliant and bright ideas. So it depends how you feel. And it depends what kind of leader you have. I really, really like to support everyone, whether they're introverted or extroverted. But being thought leadership does not matter on this. It matters on the thoughts you come forward with. A permanent employee or supplier, try to have the following. So have deep expertise in the sort of technology you're learning or working on or trying to build. Be a strong communicator. Have a unique perspective on things. Try and maybe think from outside of the box. So there's a lot of times where we have the typical traditional test strategy, but then once I heard, why don't we go ahead with a risk-based approach? Why are we spending time running our thousands of regression tests when we only need an end-to-end happy path and an end-to-end unhappy path? So that's really refreshing to hear. Why should we use things that are old and maybe it's the code smells in that as well, So why don't we just focus on something better and quicker to give us time to think strategically as well? Also, think about high quality, impactful ideas and be a forward thinking engineer. So your leadership journey starts now. Identify your passion. What your technical challenge excites you the most? How can you be resolving that? Start contributing. Write a blog post or write something on LinkedIn so people can sort of unblock you if you are blocked. And the community is so helpful. Build a community. Connect with others who share your interests. The community definitely needs voices that have been unheard. And as I said, you might come up with such a brilliant idea that might help another 100 people out there. So yeah, the challenge is in your hands. So thank you very, very much. I hope I'm finished on time and I hope I didn't go too fast. Over to you, Jenna.
Laveena, and I thought it was a wonderful session. We have a quick question from the audience. So we'll take that and then we'll head on over into that next session. So I'm going to share it now. If leadership is built on listening, how can leaders ensure they're truly hearing and not just collecting the voices from the front line?
If leadership is built on listening, how can leaders ensure they're truly hearing? Sometimes it takes time to digest that information, right? So if we are collecting, we are trying to put a puzzle together. It does take time. We cannot have results overnight, but there are times where I might have gone to a walk, I have an idea, I just go and share it with my suppliers, and we come up with a solution the following week. Literally, there has been these moments. And I've had quite a lot of these, especially this year. But it can be sometimes where you do collect information and you just leave it in a box for some time and let it brew. and then it comes back to you again and you crack on. But that's what I'm saying. It's about exploring different ideas, different sort of innovative thoughts that could help. And there are times where some projects do not allow this, whether you might be going through a transformation or something where these things might not be welcomed at that point, does not mean you cannot do it in the future. So I would say, especially the people in the front line, if they are sharing things with you on retrospectives and things like that, take it, note it, and try and solve step by step with them, and tell them, give them the hope that, listen, I'm not just ignoring you, I've heard everything and I'm trying to help you. I'm just trying to see the right time and the place to sort of add this idea for you. Give them that hope that you're working on it. Do not just, as I say, as the question said, just ignore people, basically.